this extend report listener concept is for getting the proper report. Now we have seen TestNG reports, right? That's not that much user friendly, but still they're good. Still better reports purpose, we are developing this extend reports concept. That extend report will help you to get a proper reports. Still, you have a nice, pie diagrams and reports, attach of failure screens and logs. So everything you will get very nicely. So these features was not there in TestNG, right? TestNG reports just giving, but still you attaching the screenshot to the failure and passwords we don't have. To overcome that, we are using this extend report listener class. That class inside, this is our custom class. You can give any name for this. Okay, not necessary this is the name. Even some people will give their own name. But implements iTest listener interface. So you remember yesterday I told you which interface, did you implement the interface in Selenium? I asked a question. There I have listed out all the methods of this interface. So iTest listener interface, you are implementing in this class. So iTest listener interface, you're implementing in this class. So private static extend reports, extend. See this extend manager init method we are calling. This is a return type method which returns extend reports type. So that is the one. Then public static extend test test. So on start method. Okay, on start method, what it will do is, so on starting your suit execution, this block of code will execute, right? So it will, so how many suits you are running, suit starting time, this code, whatever the code you are writing here, this code will execute there automatically every time. You don't need to place it. So that is the first on start. On finish, it will execute after the test suite ending time. This will flush the entire extent variable, and so that's a on start suit starting time, suit ending time. This code will execute for you. So this is the two methods, on start, on finish. Then there are a few more. On test start. So what is the difference between on start, on test start? On start is a suit level. On test start is test method level. At the rate test method is there, right? That method level. So on test start will execute on your test case start time. So see what we are fetching here, your method name. So you are fetching result dot get method dot get method name. So that's the method on test start. So the method name. So int last, int mid, qualified name dot last index of dot. So this qualified name dot substring of last index of dot. So string class name. So this qualified name dot substring mid plus one last. Basically, this qualified name means you'll get entire this class, then method, everything. So you'll get a dot, right? Class name dot, then method name, right? So that dot based your getting the, so last and mid everything. So then the class name also you are getting. So that's the class name you are getting. That class name substring mid plus one last. So the first package is there, then class is there, then method name is there, right? So like that we are getting this logic to get the each independent. Then so you are saying this method name started. So that test case start. So starting time, first this code will execute your @test method. Then extend test equal to extend dot create test, the method name, comma, result dot get method dot get description. Any description is there, you're getting to get the description. Then extend test dot assign category, result dot get test context, get suit, the suit name also you are getting, assigning the suit name also so to this extend test. So extend test dot assign category class name. So you're assigning the class name also. So this is the total basically which method is starting, which is suit to which class name, everything we are assigning to that extend test.
What is this synchronized method type? I never
synchronized means in the order it will run. Sync in the same order, okay? So
its name suggests name suggests that, but I never seen it before in Java before that type sync. How do you call it? Like as class level or object
this is
level?
what wherever you call, sir. This is the one. See, even I use it here also, right? Is a suit level also. This is just a keywords like a static keyword, final keyword, like that, right?
I understand.
This is also similar kind of thing.
Okay, I see first time in Java. That's why I asked.
So this is even so like same other keywords, okay? And on test success. So if your test method is success, okay, then this code will execute. What is the code we are writing here? So if a test case success, so this is the command fetching the method name, which method is passed. And I'm just putting method passed test, extend test dot create test with this method name, test dot log status pass, test passed message I'm printing. Still you want, okay, a screenshot you want to take. So try catch block inside we're keeping. Even on test success also, if you want a screenshot. So take the string img path, okay, path. So this method is going to give the screenshot path where the screenshot is stored. That path is going to give. Then test dot for this test, add screen capture from path, this path. So the screen shot will add to your test case for that test case, okay, which test case is passed. So that's adding the screenshot. You don't need to write every method. Automatically this will execute. If that test method is success, automatically the screenshot will add. That's on test success, this code will execute. So next on test failure. So similar, okay. So getting the method name and you're creating the failure test. Test.log status fail, test failed. Test.log status fail, result dot get throwable dot get message. Get throwable dot get message. That's the this on test failure, okay, on test failure. So again, try catch block inside we are keeping. If any test case fails, so capture the screenshot. So add that to that failure test case. That's it. So Then, so here test.getModel.set end time. So when it is started, start time also you can add. So here, when these tests are, you can set here start time, and you can get here when it is ending, set end time. Even if you want, here also you can do that. So when it is started, when it is ending, you can set that. Get time, result dot get end millis. So set end time same way, set the start time also must be there. So let's see, set the start time also must be there. Yeah, you have set the start time. So it will get the start time also, it will set it. Okay. So that's about the start time and end time. So you will easily find out what is the, so each time when it started, when it is ended. Even for a successful also, if you want, you can add that end time. So that's the end time, you can set it right here. When it is ended also, you can find it out. How much time it has taken, you can easily find out. Why it's not there? For this, it is not there, I think. What is there? Bracket is missing. Okay. How many brackets? 1, 2. One more bracket is missing. Yeah, got it. So here also you can end the start time and end time. Start time is the first test starting. After success, this code will execute, right? This. If it is a failure, this code also will execute. End time also you'll get it. What is the start time? What is the end time? And test skipped. This code will execute. So extend create test. So again, first you're in the log you're setting, skip the test case. So get throwable dot get message, the method name you're, so that method you're saying skipped it. Then if you want a screenshot, capture the screenshot also, and getting the end time also. So that's the main. So this test case start time, test case success time, test case. So that is the test case start time, end time. You can use that. Okay. So this is the all, these two will really, give the proper report for us. So on test success, on test failure, on test skipped, what code you want to execute. So you can build it. You can customize this also, not necessary. You need to write this only, but you can customize what you want. That's a method overriding means. You're overriding this interface methods in this class. You can write your own logic. There is no predefined definition for these methods. It's up to you. Based on your requirement, you can change the logic. Clear? Okay. Now, so see, this component is done, this component is done. So now let's move on to log4j2 and config.properties. First, config.properties I'll explain. So here we are keeping all the global properties. So what is your application URL? So what is the username, password you're using to log into this application? some other, the headless mode you want to run, incognito mode you want to run, you want to highlight the elements or not. So these are all the properties you can set it here. Once you set, so this can be read by resource bundle class methods, or I have written a properties class method, right? Reading this data from this file to anywhere. Read property value method I have written. That also you can use. Any one method you can use to read this properties file data. Either resource bundle class methods or read property value method, properties class using properties class. That also fine. Log4j. So log4j is used to logging purpose, logging your messages. You want to log your messages, then we can use this log4j. Okay, so log4j, you're going to use it. And so this, so next appenders. Okay, so you want to append your log console logs and rolling file to file. So there's all these logs. So this is the base path where your logs are available. /logs means in your project directory. So it's your project, right? The project directory here. So that's why base path is this the one. That base path I'm using below. So console tag, name equal to console, target, system.out. System.out means it will print to the console. That's the console logs it will print with the date and timestamp. Okay. So the level you are going to give here, bottom side, you're going to give the level. So logger this message, it will print for you. So on the timestamp. So a day to hours, months, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, right? In this format, it will print your message. Then rolling file, even to the file also, it will create a base path directory /automation.log. So then, and also I'm parameterizing that. You can see that. The base path inside automation. See, timestamp I'm giving. Timestamp I'm giving. Size based triggering policy. Size based triggering policy. Size 50,000, some K, that much size it will. So if it is there, that will keep it. Remaining, it will automatically purge it. So then root level, even you can info or debug. There are different levels, log levels. One is so trace, debug, info, warn, error, fatal, off. These are all the log levels. What log level you want? So you can mention that here. So this is the log level. I'm saying info. Okay. So when you create a logger, log.info, if you use, that will go to this file. Okay. So here we mentioned the file, right? That file, the info related messages will go and store here. So if you mention one more, you want one more, log level, debug you want, add this below. You can put debug. That's it. So how many loggers you want, you can enable like this, okay? Like this. So this is so how it will append to the appender reference. These are the appenders, right? One is, this is the console appender and this one. So you are giving a file. What is the reference? For a file, this message is, you go and append IRC. So any kind of, you can say log.info, that message will store here. Log.debug, that message will go and store in this file. Is it clear, sir? That's the logging your messages.
No, it is not clear, sir. I don't like every time. This is the standard logger method. Like
Yes, it's a template.
because
Sir, you will write your messages, right? Your test case steps, so your messages. That message where you will store. This is the file. This is the file it will go and store there. In the standard file, the folder. This folder inside this file will create. In this file, whatever the your log.info messages you write, that will go and store here in this file. So suppose click on the particular link. This message, if you use log.info, and that will go and store in this file, that message. Okay.
I am just not familiar with this XML tags. You know, I mean, appenders, rolling.
No, sir, this is just for logging purpose. Okay, forget about all this. But
I understand. Yeah, yes, I understand. Yeah. It's a logging purpose. It is clear.
Yeah. So that's it. So these are all okay. You don't need to worry about this. I'm just saying this is the console, the right console. It will print to the console your messages. Okay. And if it is a file, it will store in the file. So in this, with these timestamps also. And here loggers, you have to specify info type logger, debug type logger. There are different log levels. Info, debug, warn, error, all these things. Okay. That's the logging purpose this file you are going to use. Other than that, nothing. So you don't need to focus much also. This all will set up in the framework.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to consume them in your test cases. Your messages you need to write. Proper messaging is important. Which method is doing what message, what action, which step is doing what action, you will write all of them. So that debugging time, for example, test case failed. How you can debug? Based on these messages, you can debug easily.
When you create config.properties in that file, this is the totally what need in the testing case, correct? Because you are using app URL, username, password. So this is for the requirement. I assume you create these lines of codes.
Yeah. So this is not only the sir, every action you will write, right? Log.info, type the username, log.info, type the password, log.info, click on the sign in button. This is like that you will write a steps, right? Log.info, open the browser, log.info, maximize the window, log.info, add the implicit weights, log.info, select an option from drop down. You will write each step before or after, you will write a log messages, right? For understanding purpose.
Yes.
Which page, where, how do you understand where this step is happening? You have to write a page name also sometimes. So this element belongs to which page? That clear messages, if you write only, you will understand, right? By debugging time.
Okay, I was talking about the config.properties actually. So this, can you go back this file? So headless means it is like, what was the headless mean again?
Without browser opening.
Yeah, without browser. Okay, incognito.
And highlight told this. Huh? Highlight means your element will highlight with given color. I'm going to explain now. Okay, that. Okay. So which color you want to highlight? So this is based on your need. You have to enable this. If it is no, you want to highlight element, give true. If you don't want to highlight element, don't give it true as a value. Give it a false. Then it won't highlight. Okay. This is only for a demoing purpose. You will use this, sir. Otherwise, not necessary this one. So where your demo, your feature, so your automation you have written, you want to demo to your managers or anybody. So they are not technical, right? They cannot understand when you're running test case. If it highlights, then they will understand, okay, now the action is going on this element. It is clearly visible for them. That's highlightation we are doing. Okay. I have shown you already in the our test cases, right? Highlighting element, then typing, right? I have shown you in our previous classes, test NG time. I don't know whether you practiced or not. I think
no,
you
I
didn't
haven't
practice.
practiced. I don't have time yet. So just fine. That's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have shown you that also. Please refer our video, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Or anyhow, I'm going to cover here also one more time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's the one thing. Now, so let's move on to the reusable methods. All the reusable methods. So constants is, so as I mentioned, your browser, all the final static variables you are declaring. Chrome browser, and this is the global variables we are declaring. That's why we are mentioning them here. So the implicit weight, how much you want, explicit weight, how much you want. Here you can come and reduce. You don't need to change in the your classes. So one-time declarations, these are all. And the user directory, always your current project directory is in this only. You don't need to hard code. Today, tomorrow, different name you will give. And no worry. So you will just come automatically. It will read that this project name, the project path. This project path you will get automatically. How will you get your project path out of this path? So using this system.getProperty user.dir will give you current user working directory path. It means current project path. There's a standard. Anywhere you go, you can use this. If you want a current working project directory path. Then config directory means I told you config properties file path. Report directory means reports path. This is all registration page title, login page title, home page title. These are all pages. I'll show you this that one. Okay. So when you're automating the pages. Okay. The pages time we are going to use them. Then what is the other one? These are all I'll tell you this. Okay, later. One more test data file path. So that test data file still we haven't implemented. That also I'll show you that. Okay, that's next ExcelUtils, sir. You have stored the data in the ExcelUtils. Okay, you have stored the data in the ExcelUtils. So how you can read that data? You need to read that data from Excel sheet. So that data you need to read it. So you want to read data from Excel sheet. How you can read the data? That reading purpose, this ExcelUtils, and writing purpose, you will prepare a reusable methods. That reusable standard, these are all. Anywhere you go, you can use this. If you want to read from Excel sheet, use this method. So for this method, what you need to pass? File path. Where is your file? So what is the sheet name? There are many sheets. Okay, which sheet? From which sheet you want to read the data? That data you can put it here. And this method is going to return object to two-dimensional array. Object two-dimensional array. And so this is the logger, sir. I was talking about logger, this one. Private logger log manager dot get logger. So ExcelUtils dot class, that you have to give this class name. See, log dot debug I have given. log.debug or log.info, whatever if you use, that will, these messages will go and store in that logger file automatically. Okay. So see what is I'm specifying the file path. So the file path also it will print. So file equal to src file equal to new file. And given this parameter to my file object. So read the file. So fs equal to new file input stream and this source file you give this. Then there is a ready-made classes in the Apache POI libraries. We have added Apache POI library. Did you remember? In the form.xml Apache POI libraries.
Yes.
So those libraries have these classes. XSF workbook, XSF sheet class. Already they created them. So that's why we are reusing them in our thing. You're creating object for that XSF workbook. You will get a workbook object here. New XSF workbook and passing FAS object reference here. Then sheet equal to this workbook dot from the workbook. You're getting the sheet. Which sheet? So one workbook may contain multiple sheets. Okay, your data is having in which sheet? The sheet name you can give, right? Bottom side. Any name you can give. So that sheet name you can give. That sheet name you are going to pass for this method. And from that sheet, so it will read the sheet. It will get the sheet. See, the get sheet method is there in the workbook class. That's why you're getting the sheet. Then sheet class inside you have methods like, so fetching the rows count, get last row number. It will fetch all the rows count. How many rows with the data, that rows count it will fetch. So then column count, sheet dot get row of 0, first row, and how many columns are there, it will fetch total columns count. Okay. So this is the row count and column count it will fetch. So the number of columns in the Excel sheet, I'm printing that. Number of rows in the Excel sheet, I'm printing that. So that you'll see that clearly. Then create a two-dimensional object array. So object two-dimensional array name equal to new object row count, column count. You fetch it. So then I already mentioned in my Java classes, if there is a two-dimensional array, you have to use two for loops. First for loop represent the rows count. Second for loop will represent the column count. So then I need to store the data here, right? I need to read from the Excel sheet and I have to store in this array. So sheet dot get row of I+1. Why I have given I+1? I'm starting with a row 1 is having headers. That's why I'm giving I+1. My row starts a second row onwards. But what we have given here is 0, right? 0 means a header row. Headers you are going to give. That I'm ignoring. And second row onwards, my data I'm reading. Then get cell. So this K is the column address, column index number. I'm converting into toString format, storing here. Clear, sir?
Yes.
Row by that each cell address, reading and storing in this two-dimensional array. That I'm returning that data. All two-dimensional data I'm returning. So this whenever you call this method, you write this two-dimensional object array data type. It's a return type method.
Sir, is this a standard code for reading data?
Standard code.
We don't need to change it.
You don't need to change. These are all reusable methods. You don't need to change at all. But so different companies will prepare different code, but this is the standard code.
Okay.
But we have to see again, file representation, this reading the file, getting the workbook inside which sheet. These are a common code. This is not going to change. Okay. This code doesn't change. But still, you can understand how other people has written also. But standards, these are all standards.
Okay. So
Okay.
this one also fine. We need to read data.
No, this is also fine.
No need of
You just need to go to their so in your company they might have written this ExcelUtils. You go and see that they will write method name differently. They will give. So you should understand that method. That's why they will write here. They will write like this. This is the document comment. They will write the document comment above the method. What this method is doing, they will write clearly. That's what anybody new person comes, they want to understand means they will write this method is used to read the data from Excel sheets. It's like this, they will write what are the parameters for this. So they will write very clearly. So that by reading this, you can understand. So like this, every method they will create in this and they will write it. What is the purpose of each method? You have to go and understand the code. This Java code only, right? You have to go understand step by step. That's what you have to do. Methods first understand, reusable methods. This is the first thing you have to do. What are the methods are there and everything that I explained already in the previous class also. Again, the same procedure. Any company you go, first there is a utilities class, utilities package. Under that, what utilities classes are there, you just see and go one by one and understand them.
Okay.
That's the standard. This framework means, so the components are little bit changes, but the real utilities means reusable methods. That's the meaning. Reusable methods. That's the meaning of that. So they will write it differently. We will write it differently, but the concept, overall concept is same. You can reuse them. If you understand what method is there, then you can reuse in your test cases. Otherwise, you cannot reuse. That you need to understand first. Line by line code, you go and understand one by one method and just call that. Just calling the, but first know that what methods are there, you just know. If you don't know how to read the data from Excel, if that method itself is there or not, if you don't know, how you can call in your test cases. Let's say first you have to understand in each classes what is there, what is not there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and whatever the classes we have under the utils class, those are reusable methods.
Reusable methods already created by framework guys. You need to go and see them. What are the reusable methods are there?
Okay.
Okay. Next, JavaScriptUtils. So all the JavaScript related methods. JavaScript related methods you are going to write. JavaScriptUtils, private WebdriverUtils driver, and JavaScriptUtils constructor I created. For this constructor, I'm passing a driver object reference. Flash web element, JavaScript executor, JS equal to JavaScript executor of driver. I already told this. Many times we call this scrolling time and also save JavaScript click, type without send keys, highlight element, all the cases I explained this. So many cases. And this is again, few more times I'm executing again this one. Then JS dot execute script. This is the script you execute. Arguments of 0 dot set attribute style background yellow border solid 5 pixel red. So your background it will highlight in yellow color, border is solid 5 pixel red. This is the highlight sensor you are asking, right? This is the code.
Yeah, you add the CSS code.
Yeah.
Setting the background color yellow.
Yeah. So this, where I'm doing this on the given element. Okay. this element name you are passing for this method as an argument. Which element you want to highlight? You need to tell, right? You need to tell, right, which element you want to highlight. That element you are giving as an argument. Okay. Then after some time, I'm removing the highlightation. So I'm changing to white color on this element. So this is the flash. This is the flash. Flash, how to highlight the elements. If you want to change your own color, you can change the color element. Okay, so you can change a different color also. You want to change a different color, you can change it. So not only yellow or background color, right? You can change your own color. So you can pass that as a color name here by calling this method. So then even background color also will change. Okay, that's the background color, how you can change it. So you can get the page title by JS. So return JS.execute script, return document.title. So it will get the title of your current page. Go back by JS. So we have a go back by previous page. How we will go in the WebDriver? WebDriver methods are there, right?
Yes, sir. Driver.navigate method that back methods.
So that even for WebDriver, you for using JavaScript, you can write this code. Automatically ready-made methods, you can just call this method. That's it. If you don't want to use Selenium methods. Clear?
Yes, sir.
You can use a Selenium methods. If you want to use this also, it also works. So forward, so navigate forward. So this is the navigate forward JavaScript code. But we won't use this, but reusable methods we are writing. So this also another way to navigate back, navigate forward, navigate refresh. So history dot go of 0, it will refresh. So generate alert, you want to generate the alert. So you can use this alert, you give your message, what message you want. So automatically it will, alert will trigger. So open the alerts. Then you can, if you want to close the alert, you call our, so switch to alert and then accept method to close that. So generate the confirmation pop-up. So this is the one. You can put a confirmation message, yes or no button will be there. So you can, whatever you want, that you can do that. Get, so page inner text. How can you get the page inner text? So js.execute script, return document element dot inner text, and that inner text it will fetch for the entire page. So that page you are converting into string and returning as a string object. So you can click element by JS. So you can click an element by JS. Normal click we have seen. So through JavaScript code, how you will click? This is the code. js.execute script, arguments of 0.click method on this element. You are passing an element to the argument for this method. So you have to tell, okay, which element you want to click and give the argument for this method. Then it will go and click on this element. Send case using with the ID. You are sending the data on this element. So js.execute script, document.get element by ID. So whatever the ID you're giving, dot value equal to, I'm parameterizing which value I want to send it. So I can send it. Okay, so this is the example. So input email, I'm sending that. So value, this is the one. Scroll page down. You can scroll down. So scroll page down. So how much height you want. This is the default. So execute script of window dot scroll to 0 document dot body dot scroll height. It will scroll to height. So then that's a scrolling, and scroll page down. Window dot scroll to, so the given height it will scroll. So the scroll down. So this is the height, right? This is the height, total page height. Height and width you can find out, right? The window height and width. So that you can give how much height you want to scroll down. That you can call this method. Scroll page up. So you can scroll page based on the up, based on the default values. Okay. And otherwise you can give scroll into view. So arguments of 0 dot scroll into view, and this particular element visibility, it will scroll. Until this element is visible, it will scroll. That's a scroll into view, means scroll for element. This is the basic, nothing but scroll for element. These methods also explained in our test ng classes. Again, I'm covering one more time here. So these are all methods I have added. Add a new tab. How to add a new tab? So this is the one, js.execute script, window.open. It will open a new tab. So this is all the ready-made methods. You want to open a new tab, just call this method. That's it. All these are non-static methods, right? How you can call non-static methods? Any class non-static methods, how can you call?
First, we need to object. After that, object can start non-static.
You need to create object for this class. That object reference start all these methods. But you have to pass while creating object. This is having a parameterized constructor. So you have to pass for the while creating object for this class, you have to pass this driver reference variable in the object line. If the parameterized constructor is there, you have to pass object line this driver variable. Okay, is it clear, sir?
Yes, I am observing now.
This is everything Java, sir.
I know it's Java. I am aware that.
Yeah. But all these methods also explained. Highlight the element, this clicking element, send keys by sending the keys, scroll page down, scroll page up. I already explained that. So you can do this using these extra methods. These are all reusable methods. You can reuse anywhere. You go any company, you can reuse them. If this kind of scenario comes for you, you can call these methods in the Java Selenium. Next, TimeUtils is basically the default timeout. I'm putting 10 seconds, small timeout, so 1 second, medium timeout 5 seconds, large timeout 10 seconds, and extra large timeout 20 seconds. I'm keeping. So you can just call the method, all static methods. How you can call a static methods of a class?
Class talk that method, class name.
Yeah, you're right, sir. You're right. Class name dot the static method name. So that's it. Wherever you want, you don't need to worry about all this, right? They have written already. So you want which? Again, they are using thread.sleep only, but you can directly call. You're abstracting where you are calling. You are not showing this code, and you can just call these methods there. Okay, that's the so time related methods we created here. And the last one is very important. That is WebDriver related reusable methods. So WebDriver related reusable methods. So this method so what this method will do, sir? Wait for page load. So your Selenium will wait until the page is ready state. So page is ready state when? If the complete HTML document is loaded, then only you will get a ready state. That ready state, to come the ready state, it will take some time. Until that, your WebDriver will wait, sir. That is what this. So this means you are going to give a time, how much time you want to wait for that. So you give long end time system.currentMill is plus timeout. So, and while system.currentMill is less than end time, so loop it. So it is going and checking what is the page status. So is it in ready state or not? So if it is, so if page state dot equals a complete, so this page status you will get. If it is not in ready state, it will say pending. If it is completed, all loaded, you'll get a complete, this value. If this value is equal to this one, that means page DOM is fully loaded now, you will get. Then break it, don't loop it. So break. So any loop inside break statement, what it will do? It will break the loop, right? That's what we learned in Java. So that's a break purpose. So this is it's an intelligent way. You are not waiting, looping this many seconds. Okay, which no iteration you got the complete, and it will exit from there. If not getting, again goes back and checking one more time, checking one more time, checking one more time. So until this value is equal to this, it's looping. That's the wait for page load you can call. So you're moving, when you can use this method, when you're navigating from one page to other page, mandatorily you can call this method. Because why? It will take some time, right, to load all your HTML code. Or some spinners will take more time. That time you can call this method. Okay? Is it clear, sir? Are any questions here?
Sir, can you please repeat one more time? Because I was disconnected.
Okay. So you are navigating from one page to other page. When you're moving to one page to next page, the next page will take some time to load all the code, all the elements. But your WebDriver doesn't wait. How you can tell WebDriver to wait? So you call this method. This method will go and check whether the page is completely loaded or not. This ready state is a property in the HTML, and it will get the ready state is what is the value, complete or pending. If it is pending, one more time it will go on into the loop and it will check. So if this, until this value get a complete, the loop is going. That's a while loop, right? First check the condition, comes inside, this will check what is the value. And if this value is equal to this, then I'm saying page is loaded completely, fully loaded. Then break it. So break means what? Don't go again, loop it. No need to go again. So it will exit from the loop. That's the waiting purpose. This method you can call. When you can use this method? When you are navigating from one page to other pages. First, you call this method. Your click action after. When you will navigate to one page to other page, click action. When you do the click action, then only it will navigate to other pages. After click action, you need to call this method to ask WebDriver to wait. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
If you don't call, what will happen? Your WebDriver will look for the sum of the element, and that element is still not loaded. Then it will report a failure. Your test case will fail there. That's why you need to call this wait commands.
So when we use this method, we will never get that script failing, sir.
Yes, you need to. So you need to
keep
wait.
on. It is trying to load that page, waiting for.
Yeah, waiting. So it will take some time, right? This ready state is the property which will give you is completely loaded or not. If it's not loaded, it will give you pending value. So the pending is equal to complete false, right? Again, it will go, and one more time it will go and check what is the ready state. So if ready state, until you get a ready state complete, the loop is keep going and checking. That means your WebDriver is waiting. It won't move from this, and this method has to complete. Then only your WebDriver will go and check for the next line of code. Otherwise, WebDriver will keep doing here only. WebDriver will be in sleep mode only. This code will keep executing. So that means you are telling WebDriver, wait there. Don't move. So that's a waiting purpose you are using this. Okay, that's the purpose of that. Get file from resource. So you can get the resource bundle file. Resource, we have a as a test resources. In this, you want to get that file. Resource bundle file, you'll use this. So class loader equal to get class loader. So URL resource equal to class loader dot get resource, and give which file you are looking for that from this resource bundle, from this resource path. That if resource equal to null, you can say file not found. Else, you can say return the file. So what is the complete file path you return? So this is going to get the resource folder file. So that's this method. You can use anywhere, but I didn't use here. That's why we made a private. Private means in this method inside, you can use another place, this one. So if you want, make it public. It's up to you based on your so availability and requirement, you can change it. The function scope, this function scope, you can change it. Next, public web element, retrying element. So in this locator, so you are going to try it out whether that element is present or not. So this is the again while loop we are using. So attempts, how many attempts you want to make? You are going to give so the timeout and interval time. So what is the interval time? So number attempts is less than timeout. So attempts is always less than timeout. Or sometimes so how many attempts even, for example, you are given 10 seconds. So first it will start with a 0, right? 0 less than timeout. It will come inside. You get the element, which element, this locator you are passing. So that element locator, it will get the element. Then element is found in attempt. Which attempt you found that element? If it is found, then break it. So that element you're saying. So attempts plus. Let's say I'm incrementing the attempts. This is a while loop structure. This is the logic you're building. Incrementation again goes to condition. So it will come inside loop. It will do. If element is null, so you can say element is not found. Tried for this many timeout and this interval. So this many seconds. And you're returning that element. Okay, so which element you are retrying? Then same way.
What is the purpose of retrying element?
Retrying means, sorry, your page is loading still, so we don't know the element is there or not. Maybe that element is taking more time to load. Right?
Yes.
So you're trying for that. So this locator element you want, sir. But you want that element. So in this, you are telling, okay, try this many times for this element you are telling. You want that element. Without doing action on this element, without getting this element, you cannot go further step. That time you can wait, right? This many times you try, you can say that. So you are telling WebDriver, retry one more time. Go check the page one more time. And this many loops you iterate and get the element. That element is going to give you, this method will give you the element within a given time frame and time intervals. Otherwise, WebDriver, even nanoseconds also, it doesn't wait, sir, if you're not telling. Okay? You got it?
Okay, go ahead.
So that waiting purpose. So you are taking your page is, sir, generally what will happen while the developers will developing time, they will make so many mistakes, right? How you will, so that you can catch it. So this, if sometimes page takes more time to load, and that you need to tell that very clearly. And even in the, if you're still not able to get, this message will print. I tried this many seconds and in this interval time, but still element is not found. That means there is something wrong in the page, right? You can easily catch that. So that all this purpose, these methods are very useful. Okay. Any questions?
Sir, presence of element located instead of presence of element located, we are using this method, right?
You can use this method also.
Yes.
Presence of element located just tells you whether that element is present or not, but it is not going to retry.
Yes.
So that presence of element located just tells you whether it is present or not. But this element, based on this time, that many seconds, it will keep retrying.
Okay.
It will keep retrying until this element, this timeout, until this timeout, it is going and checking, going and checking, going and checking. Even that interval time also completed, still element is not there. Then this message will print for you. Then you can go and check manually. There is something wrong is going on in your web page. You'll come to know that.
Sir, interval time means if it is not available, still it is searching for that element. Then
interval time is, yeah. So how many seconds you for example, how many seconds after you want, you're asking WebDriver to go and check. Interval time is, okay, every 2 seconds you go and check that. That's the interval time. Your timeout you are giving 10 seconds. But WebDriver, you need to tell, okay, in this 10 seconds, how many intervals I need to go and check, you need to ask. So then interval time is 2 seconds. If I give, every 2 seconds, it will go and check that. If you give 5 seconds, every 5 seconds, it will go and check that. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear. Right.
That's the interval time is. So retrying for how much interval time you want to retry? That many interval times it will go and retry, and that element is present or not.
Okay.
These are the methods you need to understand. All Java code and a Selenium code also, no such element exception. If that element is not found, you will get no element is not found in attempts. These many attempts I tried, and with this interval time, but I didn't get it. And you're clearly saying that. So that in the logs, this message will go and print. Instead of this system.out.println, you can write so log.info. Okay, the same thing you can put log.info. So you can put log.info. Where it will go log.info? In the logger file. So logger file, it will go and do that. This is the log.info. You can do that. You can easily find out, right? The debugging time, this is very useful, these messages. Okay. What element also you are printing here? Which element also you are printing here? So timeout, seconds, interval time, all these things. That's the purpose of these methods, reusable methods. And this is another one. Only without interval, you are trying. Retrying element, bilocator, timeout. So you are trying, but there is no interval here, right? You're not giving any intervals. So just you're making some, so number of attempts and timeout. So it will keep rotating. But here you are telling intervals. So how many intervals you want to, so try it out. So that is the main concept of this intervals. You're telling every 5 seconds, every 2 seconds, I'm going and checking that. Next, wait for elements presence. So you are an expectation for checking that there is at least one element present on the web page. So you can give, you wait for the presence of this locator. So return wait dot until expected conditions dot presence of all elements located by this locator. So that elements it is going to return for you as a list of web elements. And wait for elements visible. So this will wait for the elements visible, all the elements visible in this location. So that's all I have clearly mentioned here, what each method is doing. Wait for element visible, visibility of element located. You can call this method. Instead of writing this entire statement, you can simply call this method. This method is returning a web element type. So this will give you a web element. You can call this method also if you want to wait for the visibility of an element. Next, wait for element presence. So wait dot until expected conditions dot presence of element locator. So it will wait. This is the presence of element located. Instead of that, you can call this method. Instead of waiting for the visibility of element, you can call this method. Instead of writing this, right, you can call this method. Simple, right? One method you are calling instead of writing this entire thing. So this is easy, right? That's what it makes your life easier by calling these methods. That's it. Are we good? That's the advantage. Wait for frame, present, and switch it. So you wait for the frame and switch to it. Then do the actions later. Once you switch it, you can do. So there are so many ways you can frame related methods. I agree. You can switch based on the index. You can switch based on the locator. You can switch based on the element. You can switch based on the string. So these are the 4 types of methods we can use. Next, so get the alert text. So wait for alert presence and switch, then get the text. So accept alert. So dismiss alert. Alert send case, can send case. Wait for alert presence. See what I'm doing. Wait dot until expected conditions. Alert is present. What is this returning type? This is returning alert reference object. So public alert, wait for alert present and switch with the fluent wait. So with the fluent wait, I'm just checking that also. So this also returns alert object. These all alerts related, okay? Alert related methods. So clearly like this, if you mention, you can understand tomorrow new person comes also. So this is the purpose of reusable methods, main thing. Wait for URL is. So you can wait for this URL. So basically when you can call this, I already shown this also. When you're navigating from one page to other page, all click action after this methods you will call wait commands. So it will wait for that page title and so it is going to return a string title. URL, sorry, basically URL. Get current URL will return a address bar URL, right? That is return type is this one, URL. Wait for URL contains. So you can wait for this fraction of URL. What are the fraction of URL giving? And you're getting that address bar URL also as a return type. Wait for title is. Wait for title is. So wait for title is string title value. And so if wait dot until expected conditions dot title is title value. So you can get the title also. It is waiting for the title. Instead of writing all these statements, you can just, so call this method simple. So wait for title contains. So again, the same expected condition and driver.getTitle. I'm getting the title also. This method will wait and get the title also. So that's the reusable methods we are going to write. It's already Selenium code only, but you are adding few more value added methods here and getting that, simplifying. So your code you are simplifying with the reusable methods. Switch to window, int window count. See, array list, tabs equal to new array list, driver dot get window handles. It will fetch all the window IDs. I'm converting this set collection into list collection. So then, so when there is a list, I can easily switch to, I can get this, how many windows are there, I can switch to that window. So driver dot switch to method dot window. So this array list dot get, you give the window count. It will go to that window count. That's the switch to window method you have to use. Switch to parent window. So driver dot switch to method dot window of parent window ID you pass, and it will automatically, just you don't need to write all these lines of code. So then call this method, that's it. Automatically it will switch to that window. Next, switch to child window. How to switch to the child window? This is the code. So this is a simple, you are simplifying everything and calling this method only wherever you want to switch to child window. Already we discussed all this, right? How to switch to the child window, everything. So see, the basic methods only I'm calling here again. And logic we are building up. So these are all get current day. So you want to get the current day from the calendar, you can reuse this method also. So like this, you need to understand each and every method. So this is not required, not that much important, this one. I can remove this also. So not required. This is the get alpha numeric string. So alpha numeric means alphabets and numbers will be there in this, and this will return a string. So this method you can reuse it. Any alphanumeric string you want, then you can give how many alphanumeric numbers you want in that. You give that count. That many alphanumeric characters will be there in this string. Whatever the string it is returning. So this is the how you can generate the alphanumeric string. Assert text not present in list. So you are asserting this text is not present in the list. So how can you check that? Next, assert text ignore case. So it ignore the cases in this element. So this text is present or not, you are asserting. Next, assert substring. So assert substring means, okay, you want to check partial text available in this element or not. This given partial text is present in this element or not, you can assert it. So this is assertions, you can reuse assertions. Assert text is not equals element string text. So assert text contains element text. So this element contains this text or not, also you can check it. So these are all the methods not text contains or text contains in the particular element or not, you are checking. So this is all code you don't need to write. So this one-time effort, and you can call the methods directly. Based on your need, call these methods. Assert text, completely you want to assert the text. So your expected value and actual value. So you can compare, you can call this method. If it is not equal, it will print this message properly to you. These are all assertions related reusable methods. Go and whenever you want to do assertions, call these methods. Which method you want. Next, select option carousel. So there are carousels. You can see in the any web page you go. You go to home page. Okay. So this is the carousels. Okay. This is the scrolling, right? This is the carousels we call them. So this one. So this is, you can, this until your element comes, maybe more will be there. Keep rotating. Okay. That kind of, this is called carousel. So you are getting first all the elements, then which element until your element is visible, you are keep clicking on these elements or iterating, and it will automatically keep scrolling that element until your element comes. You can do that. That's a carousel selection. So some selection you can click on that element also. That's this carousel related. You need to pass the collection and which option you want to choose, which element you want to choose. So then it will click on the next button element also you pass it. So that's this carousel selection related. So find element in frame. So you can find the element in the frame inside. So you give the frame ID, the locator, and string info. Automatically it will find the element, and this method will return for you web element. It will switch to that frame, then it will find that element. This method will return a web element to you. So such kind of actions, if you want, you can call this method. If there is a frame inside, you want to identify some element, that element you want, just call this method. You don't need to write this entire code, right? That will take care. Switch to frame. So you can switch to the frame. And drag and drop by. So this is we have seen already actions class, right? So drag and drop by. So this is the drag and drop by with a click and hold, move by, offset, and release method. So drag and drop by. So 2 is drag and drop by method. So with the element, x coordinate and y coordinate. So directly method you're using, drag and drop by method. And so you can use all the actions method, drag and drop method, drag and drop method. I've already explained this with the examples also. Select submenu. So particular parent menu inside, child menu you want to select. And this is the submenu selection code. This is the entire code. Okay. And I covered all these things. Okay. So, but I have created a reusable methods. And then key press. So we can press the particular key, to which key you want to press. So select item, right click. So you can right click on the element. So performing the right click operation, then click it. Once you right click, click that. So that's this is very clearly mentioned, right click and a web element and select that option. So in the right click after, what option you want to select. So you give that item locator and it will click on that. So this is the only right click and this is the code. So already I covered this actions dot context click. So we have seen that right click operation. So double click, so double click method. All the methods, you see this 2 lines, 3 lines, you don't need to write, right? Simple one method you will call. That's all this reusable methods. We already discussed very clearly these methods, actions related methods. These are all click by actions, click by enter. So, and this is the actions class methods. So this is the kind of reusable methods. You need to understand one by one, and when the situation comes, call that methods. Other than that, nothing. Is multiple element exist? So in this location, this many elements are present or not, you want to check. So how can you get that? So get elements of locator dot size. So this will give you the how many elements are there. If this actual count to this expected element count, both are same, return true. So, and you're saying, so okay, this many elements are present. So why you want this assertions time? These are very useful for you. So in the drop down, you should have this many count. If some code issue, because of code issue, some options are gone, or some assertions are added, then you will come to know easily, right? That how do you know that? If you add this kind of assertions, you will come to know. Otherwise, it's not possible. right? It's not in our control, right? When the development is going to add, when the development is going to remove, we don't know. There is a lot of issues. How you can catch them? By calling all these methods in your assertions, you have to keep it. So call this method and it will take care of that. Is multiple element exist? So in this location, so multiple elements are present or not. Greater than one element is present or not, you want to check. And this method you will call. Is two element exist? So in this location, two elements are present in this, but exactly two elements you want to check. This method. Is single element exist? So in this location, only one element should be there. Then you can call this method. So get elements text list. So in this location, fetch all the element text. So it will first will give you the collection of elements. The second one, I'm getting all these elements text, each element text I'm storing in this array list. So I'm adding one by one element text. I'm returning that list. I'm returning. So this method is going to return. So in this location, so all the elements, that element text I'm going to return from this code. See, this method fetches all the elements text and returns a list to you. It returns a list. So get elements. This element will return a collection of elements. Fetch all web elements in the page. Then select option. So you want to select an option in this option to select this in this element, which option you want to select. This is the list. See, select an option from list box. The list has UL and LI tag. So there is a list of options. You want to select one of the option. See how simplified this method. So this will select for you. Directly call this method. So understand here, select an option from list. This is also another way. So get attribute of value equals ignore case your option. So you can select that option. So either this one or this one, you can use it. So here you are passing the list, but here you are passing the entire element. That element inside, which option you want to select. So there's a lot of difference. You need to understand what is this method is doing, what this method is doing. You have to go and understand line main code, because these are all methods we have explained. Nothing is pending here. And I have given this code also in the beginning classes. So that code I am keeping in the methods inside. Select option list. So in this element, so which option you want to select based on the drop down. So this is a drop down related. Select an option from drop down without using select class. This code also I have given, the demo also we have given, right? Without select class, how to select an option from drop down. This is the code. Next, do select a drop down value. So in this locator, select this value. So I'm using select class. This is a select class related. So it will select this value and exit. So next, is drop down option exist? See that this option is present in this drop down. So simply you will call this method. That's it. And you can assert that. You don't need to write all this code. That's the advantage of these methods, sir. Very, very powerful methods. These are all. So this much code you can avoid writing just by understanding this. Definitely you need, okay, this element is present in this drop down or not. Then assert that. So that's the advantage of this. Get the selected drop down value. So you selected some option. You want to get that. How you can get that? This method will give you get selected drop down value. You can get it. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, it is clear. This is cover what we have so far. Anyway, you have
Yeah.
covered like these subjects before, and you put them together in the WebdriverUtils.
Exactly, sir. You're right. So there independently we practiced. Now we are doing putting in one file, common file. And wherever you need, you will call that.
So in this utils package, so far we have 5 Java classes, and in any designing framework, we can use these 4 classes except constants, because constants Java different, because you define there some constants, which is, I think it must be changed depend on the project, right?
Project, but this some of them won't change. This doesn't change.
Some line are changed, but like login page title, constant.
These are all will change. These are all
Yeah.
will change based on your application. This is for one application. Okay.
Yes.
This is for our open cart application. These titles, but these are going to change for your project.
Yes. But the other 4 utility
Doesn't change.
Doesn't change, and we can use any project, right?
No, this doesn't change. This doesn't change.
And TimeUtils doesn't also change, right? Correct.
Doesn't change. Yeah, this also doesn't change.
Okay. And JavaScript.
Even JavaScriptUtils also doesn't change.
Excel, I think Excel the same thing. Reading the Excel.
Excel also doesn't change.
Okay, that's how.
But they might add more. They might add more in this Excel related. You want to write the code. You want to write the data. Okay. There will be one more method they will write here for writing the data. So this is only reading the data, right, sir?
Yes.
You have data in the Excel sheet. You are reading.
Yes.
But you have now you have data in your code. You want to write it to file. How you will write it? That writing to the file, they will write one more method here. That I want to add, I will add this that method also. Okay.
Oh, it will be great if you add it later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I'll add that.
That will be useful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all reusable methods. You want to write data. That also one scenario, right? So you got in your applications are some data that you want to write to Excel sheet for further reusability purpose. How you will write that data?
So like number, we are storing the data in our Excel sheet.
In the Excel sheet, yeah. So which column, which sheet you want to store, you need to tell, right? It will go and store there. You get it first from web page. How you will get from web page? How will get from web page data? Sir, this is a very bad.
No. Come again.
How will get the data from web page, sir?
I don't remember now, man.
Kiran, how will get the data from web page?
We have tons of things here, you know.
How many times I told this, sir? How many times? I don't remember even. So many times I explained this scenario. And if you don't remember, this is not good at all. As Arshini is not there?
No, sir.
Very simple concept, this one. And Shivpriya, are you there?
Yeah, is it get method, sir?
There is no get method, madam, in the WebDriver.
Oh, you're asking about web page?
How can you get the data from web page? How can you get the particular element data, madam?
Get attribute? No.
The text method.
Yeah. You said this on Tuesday class.
Arshini has given that.
Yeah.
How many times, madam, I
Get
told
text.
this?
Okay.
Get text.
How many times I told this, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Want to get.
I don't know why you people are missing that. Very simple logic, that one, right?
Wait, what is the answer?
There is no other method, sir. There is no other method at all. Only single method, that is get text method. From web page, you want to get the data, only single method, that is get text method.
Sorry, sir, yeah, confused. Date. You said data.
Why you are confusing, sir? So many classes I explained the same concept.
Sir, get text means I understood, but get data.
People, they won't ask text, sir. Data
Yeah.
means what? Data
Okay.
is not a text. From
Yes.
web page means you will get only data means it's a text only. So data means you are in your application, different kind of data will be there, right? It will
Yes.
generate in the web page. That data you want, that data is nothing but a text only. Attribute value means you have to tell get attribute to Shivapriya.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, now it will not go from my mind. Thank you.
Yeah, good, good. So even last time also many people confused on this. I don't know.
That's the issue is we are focusing on one thing here, like it is hard to remember all of the sudden, you know what I mean, when you ask question, you know what I mean? I know it is the right it is the important concept, like sometimes
Very important, sir. This one, very important.
Yes, I understand.
Make a note that, okay? Make a note that. This is the one you will use so many times.
Yes, we did already. Yes, yes. And
We did already. You are going to do many times.
Yes.
You will get, sir, you will do some actions or sequence of actions. Finally, you will get some data. That data, you need to get it first. After getting the data, then you will write to the Excel sheet. Without getting, you cannot write to the Excel sheet, right? First, get the data from web page. How can you get the data? Using WebDriver methods. Anything, remember the point I'm giving again, I'm stressing out, concentrate on this point. From web page, you want to get some data, you want to do some action on the web page, only how to use WebDriver methods.
Sure, sir.
This is the fundamental concepts you have to remember. The principles, basic principles, remember that. If web page means WebDriver methods only, no other things. From web page, you want to do action, you want to insert the data, you want to get the data, you want to do anything from web page, retrieving and setting the data, retrieving the data, doing actions, everything is done by WebDriver methods only. Even CSS property values you want to, that's a CSS property data you want. The WebDriver get CSS value method.
Mm-hmm.
Kiran, you have these scenarios they're doing, what you are understanding their code. They are validating their colors, you are validating all this, right? How they are getting that color? Did you see any time your code in your application? This all the code is there, sir. Get CSS value method is there for them. You're getting the text. All this text, how they are fetching, using get text method only. They have written the code and they're using that reusable method only. That's it, sir. There is no new methods. Everything is available there. And they're writing it like this, simplifying the methods. Simplifying. Instead of writing 2 lines, you can call only 1 line. Instead of checking that drop down, this option is present or not, this many lines code you don't need to write. Simply call this line, this method. That is the purpose of reusable methods. You're avoiding this. Every time you cannot write this. You want to check multiple drop downs are there. All the drop downs, this option, different drop downs. Will you write this entire code? See, why we have written this? See, parameterized. This will work for any application, any drop down. That is what generic means. Any applications or wherever you go, this method you can use for drop down. It's not for one application developed these methods. Any application you can use these methods, this entire file of methods. That's what the generic methods means. That's what the reusable method means. Meaning of reusability. Once you develop it, you can reuse n number of times. Clear? Get all selected drop-down options. So you give the drop-down element, it will fetch how many selected in that drop. This is a multi-selection drop-down purpose. You will use this. Get drop-down size. It will give the drop-down size. So get all drop-down options. It will fetch all the drop-down options. So select option by index. See, everything I covered there and I'm putting here. Again, making the reusable methods. So select by visible text. So this is the code. Submit method. You can submit. So I'm just calling the, I see the flash element method. I'm flashing the element. That means highlighting the element, then clicking on that submit. See that? Uncheck. First flash it, uncheck it. So this is the any element, this is applicable automatically. First highlights, then action it is doing. Uncheck the web element. So this is the flashing, then clicking on that element. So check the element. If you want to add flashing element also, you can, because get element inside, I call the flash method so that it will automatically call. So check. So it will flash and click on the element. Is selected. So this element is selected or not, it is checking. Is selected web element. Is selected locator I am giving. See, same overloaded methods. Overloading again. Overloading. So this is all the Java, sir. Everything Java. So is displayed. See, here web element locator, here by locator. So is enabled. So is enabled. So get element CSS value. See that this is the one. Get element attribute value. Get element attribute value. Get element text. So this is that it will fetch the data of the element. So this method you will call. You don't need to write all these 2 lines of code, right? Just you will call this method. That's it. So that's all clear text with the backspace. So see, logics you need to understand. So manually, whatever you're doing, that I'm replaying. So just simulating that same action here. See that. First, it will wait for the element. Then I'm highlighting. Then getting the attribute of value. So what value is there that I'm fetching, and content equals until this content equals not equals. See that negation here I added. So this is element dot get attribute value. It will get the value attribute value. Convert that into string. Then until what? Until empty. For example, this value attribute is having so selenium. So when the selenium, this value will be selenium. Selenium content equals to empty. When it will become content equals to empty in the edit boxes, you press the backspace key. One by one, you delete it. Until this not empty, you keep doing this backspace. I have written the backspace one time only. I'm sending the backspace key on this element, but looping that. That's a loop purpose, right? I don't know how many characters are there in this element, but until this is not empty, so saying not empty, this value, you keep pressing the backspace. You will do the manually also, backspace, keep pressing, right? You will do that or not? Backspace.
Yes, sir.
So here, the backspace, sir, this you will type it. You want to remove that. How you will do? One time backspace, then backspace, then backspace, then backspace, then backspace, 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 backspace. So you're, how many times you are pressing? That code it is doing this. Same. But we have written one time and looping that. Until you're telling condition. Condition is very important. What is that? This content is not empty. Until this is not empty, go and press the backspace. Okay, so that it will keep going until this is not empty. It is keep going and doing that. So all conditions how we'll write. Let them directly call data
Yeah.
means what? Data
Okay.
is not a text. From
Yes.
web page means you will get only data means it's a text only. So data means you are in your application, different kind of data will be there, right? It will
Yes.
generate in the web page. That data you want, that data is nothing but a text only. Attribute value means you have to tell get attribute to Shivpriya.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, now it'll not go from my mind. Thank you.
Yeah, good, good. So even last time also many people confused on this. I don't know.
That's the issue is we are focusing on one thing here, like it is hard to remember all of the sudden, you know what I mean, when you ask question, you know what I mean? I know it is the right, it is the important concept, but sometimes
Very important, sir. This one, very important.
Yes, I
so
understand.
make a note that, okay? Make a note that. This is the one you will use so many times.
Yes, we did already. Yes, yes. And
We did already. You are going to do many times.
Yes.
You will get, sir, you will do some actions or sequence of actions. Finally, you will get some data. That data, you need to get it first. After getting the data, then you will write to the Excel sheet. Without getting, you cannot write to the Excel sheet, right? First, get the data from web page. How can you get the data? Using WebDriver methods. Anything, remember the point I'm giving again, I'm stressing out, concentrate on this point. From web page, you want to get some data, you want to do some action on the web page, only how to use WebDriver methods.
Sure, sir.
This is the fundamental concepts you have to remember. The principles, basic principles, remember that. If web page means WebDriver methods only, no other things. From web page, you want to do action, you want to insert the data, you want to get the data, you want to do anything from web page, retrieving and setting the data, retrieving the data, doing actions, everything is done by WebDriver methods only. Even CSS property values you want to, that's a CSS property data you want. The WebDriver gets CSS value method.
Mm-hmm.
Kiran, you have these scenarios they're doing, what you are understanding their code. They are validating their colors, you are validating all this, right? How they are getting that color? Did you see any time your code in your application? This all the code is there, sir. Get CSS value method is there for them. You're getting the text. All this text, how they are fetching using get text method only. They have written the code and they're using that reusable method only. That's it, sir. There is no new methods. Everything is available there. And they're writing it like this, simplifying the methods. Simplifying. Instead of writing 2 lines, you can call only 1 line. Instead of checking the drop down, this option is present or not, this many lines code you don't need to write. Simply call this line, this method. That is the purpose of reusable methods. You're avoiding this every time. You cannot write this. You want to check multiple drop downs are there. All the drop downs, this option, different drop downs. Will you write this entire code? See why we have written this. See, parameterized. This will work for any application, any drop down. That is what generic means. Any applications or wherever you go, this method you can use for drop down. It's not for one application developed this methods. Any application you can use these methods, this entire file of methods. That's what the generic methods means. That's what the reusable method means. Meaning of reusability. Once you develop it, you can reuse n number of times. Clear? Get all selected drop-down options. So you give the drop-down element, it will fetch how many selected in that drop. This is a multi-selection drop-down purpose. You will use this. Get drop-down size. It will give the drop-down size. So get all drop-down options. It will fetch all the drop-down options. So select option by index. See, everything I covered there and I'm putting here. Again, making the reusable methods. So select by visible text. So this is the code. Submit method. You can submit. So I'm just calling the, I see the flash element method. I'm flashing the element. That means highlighting the element, then clicking on that submit. See that? Uncheck. First flash it, uncheck it. So this is the any element, this is applicable automatically. First highlights, then action it is doing. Uncheck the web element. So this is the flashing, then clicking on that element. So check the element. If you want to add flashing element also, you can, because get element inside, I call the flash method so that it will automatically call. So check. So it will flash and click on the element. Is selected. So this element is selected or not, it is checking. Is selected web element. Is selected locator I am giving. See, same overloaded methods. Overloading again. Overloading. This is all the Java, sir. Everything Java. So is displayed, is displayed. See here web element locator, here by locator. So is enabled. So is enabled. So get element CSS value. See that this is the one. Get element attribute value. Get element attribute value. Get element text. So this is that it will fetch the data of the element. So this method you will call. You don't need to write all these 2 lines of code, right? Just you will call this method. That's it. So that's all clear text with the backspace. So see logics you need to understand. So manually whatever you're doing that I'm replaying. No. So just simulating that same action here. See that first it will wait for the element. Then I'm highlighting. Then getting the attribute of value. So what value is there that I'm fetching and content equals until this content equals not equals. See that negation here I added. So this is element dot get attribute value. It will get the value attribute value. Convert that into string. Then until what? Until empty. For example, this value attribute is having so selenium. So when the selenium, this value will be selenium. Selenium content equals to empty. When it will become content equals to empty in the edit boxes, you press the backspace key. One by one, you delete it. Until this not empty, you keep doing this backspace. I have written the backspace one time only. I'm sending the backspace key on this element, but looping that. That's a loop purpose, right? I don't know how many characters are there in this element, but until this is not empty, so saying not empty, this value, you keep pressing the backspace. You will do the manually also backspace, keep pressing, right? You will do that or not? Backspace.
Yes, sir.
So here, the backspace, sir, this you will type it. You want to remove that. How you will do? One time backspace, then backspace, then backspace, then backspace, then backspace, 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 backspace. So you're, how many times you are pressing? That code it is doing this. Same. But we have written one time and looping that. Until you are telling condition. Condition is very important. What is that? This content is not empty. Until this is not empty, go and press the backspace. Okay, so that it will keep going until this is not empty. It is keep going and doing that. So all conditions, how will write? Let them directly call clear text.
On line 270, this even you said that like this method fetches the element text based on the given locator. You don't say data or anything. I think that's the confusion where came from when you ask where to store the data. You know what I mean? Because I think you already said that like this method get text method fetches the text. You know what I mean? I never heard that like you said data or anything like that. Store the data.
So web pages.
That's why this confusion came from. You know what I mean? So even you said you express it there too. Line 270. This method fetches the element text, not data. Text. You see?
So that
you
means
should change. You should
is,
maybe open a parenthesis and say that data. You know what I mean? Instead of text.
No. So this is, sir. This all how you understand your web application. Okay.
I understand.
The web application.
When you ask question, how do you store the data in the web page? You should ask how to store the text. You know what I mean? Because you never said it data, sir. First,
sir, please understand here. Okay, please understand. Always people won't say text only in the web pages. Okay.
Yeah, I never heard that data from you.
Because you are not testing, right? You are not testing, right? Application, did you test anytime?
What do you mean? I am not testing.
Did you test the manually applications?
No, I didn't, because
that's why you won't get it. So if you keep doing manual testing, there it will come. Okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
manual testing.
I wish you would mention that then by then. You know what I mean? Because when I see the get text method, I simply say that this method return string value. You know what I mean? It is not a data, never come to my mind.
It's not coming. So
am I correct or not? Am I right or not?
No, just listen, sir. Listen. Okay. The thing is, manual testing you don't know properly. That's a main problem. Okay. First, automation testing, when you're taking, first you should have a manual testing knowledge. If you understand functional testing properly.
And I wish you would mention that then.
I mentioned already, sir, in previous programs, I mentioned very clearly, data and text is both same.
I don't recall.
Go and refer my videos. Okay? Go and refer my videos. Go and refer my videos. Okay.
I will. Trust me.
Yeah. Refer that. So definitely I mentioned text and data both are same in the web pages.
And one thing in your code, sir, like last time, I had spent a lot of time try to figure it out. This weight implicit and explicit method, and then one of the code you introduced all of the sudden thread slip method. I wish you would explain it before in your theory section. You know what I mean? Like I ended up finding out by myself. Like what does this thread.slip method do? You know?
Thread.sleep is not related to WebDriver, sir. This is not related to WebDriver.
It is not WebDriver, but you introduced it first time when you were writing the code. Before that, you never mentioned anything about it.
Just wait, sir. Wait. When we introduced this thread.sleep,
you just introduced it in your code. You didn't mention before. What does this thread.sleep do?
Wait. So let's go and see.
No, I am here. I am waiting, sir.
Wait, I'm waiting. Okay, let's see in your classes anywhere did I mention or not? Okay.
And we ask question. You are aggravating some reason.
No, just wait. I'll show you.
It shouldn't be like that, man. You know what I mean?
Thread.sleep did I mention here or not? See.
You just introduced it, like I said. You introduced it first time in your code here. Before that, I had no idea what does thread.sleep. You know what I mean?
Wait. Did I explain here or not?
You first time wrote that. Oh, I said that. What is this by myself? You know what I mean? Because this is the first time I was showing that, and you just simply write that. You write that, and I ask you. Even if I didn't ask you, you might not explain it.
Sir, this is not, this is a Java code, this one.
It is the
You
Java
didn't
code. I understand, sir. I understand.
Uh,
This is the Java code.
Problem is you didn't take the Java from me, okay?
No, I don't
Right.
want to take the Java from you. Just
Then
I
I explained there. I didn't,
But-
you told you know the Java, right?
I-
You do,
no.
you told me that you know
listen.
the Java.
You didn't mention this code. Like I wish you would
Sir.
explain it before you are explaining this weight concept. You know what I mean?
See.
Because I read it. I find out by myself, literally going through the Google.
Problem is, sir, thread.slip is not Selenium concept, sir. You're not understanding that. You told you know the Java. Java, if you know, why you don't know this?
No, I
Huh?
understand Java, sir. I understand Java.
If understand, I should not tell this now here. This is the Java concept, not Selenium concept.
But you cannot differentiate. Oh, this is the Java concept, or this is the
Did
Selenium
I
concept.
mention my WebDriver methods anywhere? Did I mention anywhere in my WebDriver methods?
You didn't mention it, but you introduce
It's
it.
not
Don't-
part of Selenium.
Please don't
You need-
offense. Don't offense. No
Not
offense.
offense, sir.
I am
You-
just like saying that. You know what I mean?
You are, see, you didn't take the Java codes from me. You told you know Java very well.
No,
Why
I know
I need
Java
to tell
well.
Java
Yes.
codes, Java concept, the simple Java concept I need to tell for you. This is not Selenium, right?
I know this is not Selenium.
And then
But
why I need to tell
you
this
should-
simple line,
No, at least
Java,
you should.
that is a Java concept. Why I need to tell this simple line, sir? And
Okay.
you're asking, you didn't tell that. This
But
is not fair.
this is the related to the testing, correct? So
No,
what does
no, it's not
thread.slip
related to testing. This is not related to
No, no. What does
testing.
thread.slip do, sir?
Thread.slip is Java concept, the threads.
So what is the purpose in terms of testing?
You need to understand Java first.
I understand Java. sir.
Threading. Did you understand threading?
I understand threading.
If
But
you
what
understand,
is the
then why you
purpose?
are asking, sir,
Why
this
do
one?
you use here?
So why this is the threading? This is the Java code is entered. Every class runs in a thread format. If you understand, then why you are asking these simple things?
No,
sir?
just I am because you first time when you wrote this code, just like out of nowhere, you.
This
just
is not
wrote-
Selenium. Selenium is not. This is not the Selenium. So I can use any Java methods, right? So these methods are not Selenium, right? And I don't want to tell these simple things in the Selenium, right?
But it is important, and I find
No.
out that this is
So that
slip
that
used
problem
for
is you
when you
have
like.
no, sir,
What's-
you are not understanding. The course limit is what course scope? Java concepts you should not ask me, but still I'm explaining more Java concepts to you again. Did I explain you or not? Many concepts. I should not tell that because you didn't opt for me Java. You should
Okay.
not expect that.
Don't get me wrong. I am not angry at your.
No,
anything.
you are angry.
No,
You are
we are just like discussing here. So
No. I'm discussing. I'm also discussing, sir. This simple thing you should not ask. This is from Java. It's not Selenium related. Selenium related anything I didn't explain to you, tell me. You didn't explain this to in the Selenium. I can tell you. This
I
is
don't
coming
mind.
from Java.
I don't mind asking in Java, sir. You know what I mean? By the way,
Huh?
I didn't ask you what is interfaces or what is polymorphism or also all of my questions regarding. I am pretty aware that this is not a Java course. This is a testing course. You know
Which
what I mean?
code? Which code? This one testing code?
No. I am in general. This is not a Java course. I understand that.
Mm.
But my point was like you didn't say that what is the purpose of using we use this thread in this in terms of testing, you know what I mean?
This never going to use, sir. This never going to use. This is for showing forever purpose. This is navigate back is going, front is going, and that's just waiting. You should not use in the
Yeah,
code.
I figured out later on. So I Google it literally. So
That's the Java in the real time. You won't use this thread. You won't hard code here. This is what. And this
Okay,
is all
sir.
Java, from Java it is coming, not here.
Okay, move on, sir. Okay.
That's
You
what,
are right.
sir. Java concepts, you didn't opt it.
No, I don't opt it. I don't want it.
That's what. You should not expect this Java concepts.
But it was related to testing. That's why I
No,
asked.
it's not related to testing.
It was related to
No,
that. Anyway,
it's
just
not
go
related to
move on,
testing.
sir. Move on, please.
Not at all related to testing, this one.
Okay, move on, sir.
Yeah. So this is not at all related to testing. So this is completely out of scope of testing.
Okay.
Testing related is all the Selenium methods.
Okay, go on, sir.
How you will use the methods, how you will sequential flow you need to use, what are the wait commands, how you will use actions, how you will use testng, how you will use JUnit. This is all related to testing.
Okay, no offense. Just go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that's what. Out of scope, I don't need to tell also. Okay. Yeah. So this is the send data. You want to add, enter the data. This is the code you have to use. I already mentioned send keys methods, but we are adding extra for these methods. That's all reusable method means. I'm waiting, then element highlighting, clear the content if it is there, and type it. So this is a reusable methods what they're going to do. And is clickable, whether the element is clickable or not, I'm checking. And then click, you click it. But before clicking, I'm waiting, then highlighting. Highlighting, if you don't want, remove this. So generally in the real time, only demo time only you will enable this. Otherwise, you should not enable this. No need of that. But if you want, you can keep it. So in the test, screenshots time, it will highlight also which element you are doing action. And is element present? With this locator, if the element is present, returns true. If not present, returns false. And then get element list. So it will get all the elements based on this locator. So that's how many elements are there, all the elements, you'll get it here. So the flash element, I already told, this flash method I'm calling from JavaScriptUtils. And get element method. So you're getting the element. That basically again, driver.find element related. And this is the locators. Anyhow, we are not using this much. And navigate forward, navigate back, and you're getting the URL. So this all browser address bar, whatever the URL is there. Get title and refresh. And this is the constructor. So these are all reusable methods. So we are going to use these reusable methods in your test cases. So while creating the pages, test cases, you are going to use them. So that's the reusable methods, components, and everything. So how much time we have still?
5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes means I cannot spend more time here. So next class, we'll design these pages one by one. Okay. So okay. I'll explain this, how to design the pages. First, we need to understand, go and explore this application. Okay. This application. Okay. So what are the pages are there, navigate and explore functionality, first understand, then, and we can easily automate that. Every page, how to do, how to test it. So even manual testing, you didn't opt it. So you have to explore and come back. So what are the scenarios are there and everything, but still I'll tell. So functional flow. So how you can navigate from one page to other page, what are the actions you want to do, that manual testing, how to do, I'll explain, but still you go and explain. You have this URL, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So go and explore and come back. The functional test cases, how to write and how you will do the testing, and explore and come back. And I'll show you how to do testing, then how to write the code for that functional flow. Okay. So this is the next, each page we are going to, what are the elements you are using in this page that we are going to design in one page class. That's what in the framework design explanation, I explained that. Next, you go and this page and these pages, how you will navigate there. Cyclic actions. So all this, what actions you will do on these elements, and you will just, we're going to do that. All the elements will identify, will do respective methods. That code wise, I will tell everything. Functional flow. So you need to understand. So if you select a different values, what will happen? And then, so check the checkbox, what without checking, what will happen? This is all testing. So manual testing. So that flow we need to understand. So that understanding the functional flow is important here. If you want to go to any pages, so login page, if you go, how you will do login, then forget password, what is the actions you will do. So all this, so we're going to write the code further. So manual test cases based only, we'll write the test cases. So that each page I will design and some methods will write, and we'll do some testing in the next classes. We'll write page by page. Now exactly your work starts here in the real time also. In the pages, in the test cases. This is the main, but these are all predefined code, it will be there. So, but slightly methods will change, and no, they will write it. Names are, I'm not giving a guarantee the same names they will give, but different names they might give. You need to go and look at the file. Again,
Yes,
so we should not say, so
correct.
the
Yes,
names, the method names, they will give differently. That's okay.
yes, yeah. Of
So
course.
the names, different people will give different names.
Yep.
But our understanding is important here, what this method is doing, and go and look in the code. Okay, this method is doing this one, this one, this one. So when you go method by method, then only you can understand. Otherwise, we won't understand.
Yes.
Okay. Any company you go, these are the thumb rules you need to remember. First, see the framework structure. And what are the reusable methods? How the browser is initialized? What are their application URLs? Where they stored? What is the data they are using? What are the page classes they defined? Any extent reports concept they implemented? And how pages are they designing? And page elements, how they are identifying? And the respective methods where they are writing? And how they are consuming the test cases. This is the common structure anywhere. Okay, please keep these points in mind.
Okay.
Those are very, very important. Any company you go, that's a structure you need to understand. Then only you can, quickly you can understand the framework. How quickly you understand the framework, that quickly you can write the code. So maximum they will give 1 or 2 days for understanding the framework when you join any company. And later they will give a task. Okay, write the automation test case for this flow. First, manually you go and understand the flow. Then make a steps, how the flow is there, how the page step by step is going. Then you start designing. How they design, you see one sample and start designing the code. Okay, these are the thumb rules if you go any company. Okay, any questions regarding this till now, whatever we explained?
No, thank you.
Go through that, and if you have any doubt, note down and come back. Next class, we'll discuss all your queries first. Then we'll move on to the page designing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, fine.